Good Wednesday morning. How's everybody doing today? We have a whole lot of fun for you today. And what's interesting is the different things. Thank you, Joyce. The different things that we can do with one set of templates. So, good morning, Kim. How are you from Atlanta? And Carla from Oklahoma City, Beverly Kramer. Good morning. Joyce, good morning from Mesa, Arizona. You like the startup? Yeah, that was kind of a nice, a friend of mine did that for me. He's quite good at it. He's actually professional when it comes to that stuff. So it was really an honor to have him do that for me. Linda, good evening from Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Nice to see you again. We saw you yesterday morning. Which would be this morning. I can't I'm not sure, but anyway, I know we saw you yesterday, my time. Courtney, Grand Prairie, Texas, welcome. And there's Cactus Deb from Glendale, Arizona. And cool Northern Arizona is in the house with Ronnie Wadneka, my friend. And here we go. Let's take a look at what we've got this morning. What we're doing is we're doing Paisleys. Now, this is the Westalee Paisley. We have two different sets of Paisleys. One is from Donna McCauley and one is from Westalee Design. The one we're going to use today is by Westalee Design. Now, what's really interesting about this is I love the way that you can just all over quilt this. Word of caution, it's a lot of thread bearing, but that's okay because in the end, it's absolutely worth it. The Paisley one is a set of 4 templates, and they are 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 2.5 inch, and 3 inch. And I have all 4 of them set out here for us. It's really interesting that we can actually put a tail onto these as well. And, this is just another testament to how absolutely creative Leonie West is. Okay. Because what I'm going to show you is what I played around with just a while ago with this set of templates. And here's what I was able to come up with, okay? Um, Here are those different sizes. Alrighty, that is the 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 2.5, and 3 inch. What I did was I put tails on these just so that we could see what it looked like. The other thing that we can do, and we're going to do today, is a spin. We can actually do like a spin effects with these paisleys, and look at how pretty they are. Now, this is done on an 8 point. You can do a 16 point as well, and we're going to look at that this morning. The other thing I absolutely love about this set of templates is the fact that we can make beautiful feathers with them. And this is so much easier than you would anticipate it being. Okay. The I love the wreath, the feathered wreath. So this just is one of my favorite things. The other thing we can do with this set is beautiful feather border. And you'll see that we are using the 2.5 inch here and the 3 inch here. I went ahead and did a mitered line and we went ahead and came through. So this is just some of the things that we can do. This morning I was playing before we came together here And what I did here was I started doing a rotation with the tail. Now, if you'll notice with this one, I don't have the tail on here, but this one is with the tail. So we're going to try that both ways this morning. All right, we have a lot to get to, so let's get to it. Okay. All righty. So here is the 8 point. And what I'm going to do on the 8 point is I'm going to do, yeah, I think what I'm going to do is the just a little bit smaller. I'm going to do the 2.5 inch. Now I've put some marks on this. And what I've done, oh, Di snuck in here. Good morning from a cool Southern California, Di. Good to see you. Linda says she absolutely loves Paisley's. And Paisley, Di says, reminds her of feathers, and it does. It does. It can be done so well. So what I did is I have come here and I have made a crosshair. Now, what I did with this one is this is if we are going to include part of the tail. If we're not going to include part of the tail, we're going to use this horizontal line here. The other thing I want you to notice is that I have put stable tape on both sides of my paisleys, and I'm going to show you why. This design right here, absolutely love it. Haven't had a chance to practice it a lot, but I absolutely love it. So what we can do is we can either line ourselves up like this, or we can line ourselves up like this. Let's start with the easier part first, okay? And that's going to be lining ourselves up this way. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and pull my thread up right in the center here. Put my foot down. We know we need that foot down in order to draw our thread up. And let's bring you in just a little bit. And there we go. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this first. Whoops. There we go. And we should be absolutely fine with our bobbin this morning. Okay, Janice? Okay, here we go. Take my one stitch in place. Keeping those stitches just a little shorter. Now remember, this one is not going to have the tail on it. This one is just going to be the regular paisley. So what I'm going to do here is I would continue coming around in this manner, okay? If I do that, what I'm going to end up with is this design right here. Well, hi, Tana. Welcome from Northwest Florida. Panhandle region. Absolutely love it. Eglin Air Force Base. Spent some time there. Kathy, good morning. You've got coffee and a donut. You're all set to go. Awesome. Okay, so what I could do is I can do this again, or what I can do is come here and flip the template around, which is the way we're going to do it this morning. And I'm going to go on my next line. And here we go. Now, remember when I said playing around sometimes is a success and sometimes is a failure? Okay, failures really are not failures. They're teaching us lessons. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around to the next one and I am going to go ahead and get rid of this thread. I don't have Ken here nagging me to do it, but that's okay. I appreciate him keeping me on the straight and narrow. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to flip it again. Coming all the way around. Pretty design, isn't it? There we go. Now, this is really interesting because what I would see in this, and I'm going to come back here and I'm going to come down, flip my template over, sorry, and I'm going to come down in that same spot and see how, and that's actually not going to work, guys. That's actually not going to work, but it's going to give us something extremely interesting here. Okay, so while this did not give us this design, it's still an awesome design. So now I'm going to come over this way and I'm going to go ahead and put this together right here. And what this should do is give us a repeat of what we have over here. So because I'm not really anxious to have two designs put into one set of rotations here, what I'm going to do, rather than hold it like this, I'm going to come ahead and I'm going to go to the next reference line. And I'm going to come around, keeping those stitches just a little bit shorter. Back to center. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip my template over. Again, if I come like this, I'm going to make this design again. If, however, I come back on this line, which is actually going backwards, I'm going to end up with this design. And what I absolutely love about this is it's okay to put different motifs together into one design. And if you don't want to, you don't need to. But you see here how that comes out beautifully. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn my template over. And again, I'm going to do what I did over here. And we're going to flip the template yet again. This is why I have stable tape on both sides. Originally, I didn't. I didn't think that it would be so easy to turn this template and get such pretty designs, but it is. And I'm lining up my lines right here. Oh, came off just a little bit there. Not a problem. That's why they call it practice. Okay. So we're just going to end that here because we don't need to sit and do the same thing over and over and over again. But I like it. Um, given my druthers, I think what I would do is I would do a whole rotation with these guys right here because I think that's just a cool design. And you know what? It's one that, and here I go harping on my template again, but it would just awesome template opportunities here, although this one does as well. So you can use either one consistently all the way around or use the other one all the way around. Either way, it's not a disappointment. Okay. Now let's see who else is here. Okay. We have Kathy from Long Island has come in. And Tana, thank you. She says, clever for sure. Lisa from Sugarland, Texas. It's okay, Lisa. You're allowed to be late. Oh, you know what? Joyce says one way looks like a heart, and you're absolutely right. This one does look like a heart. Donna, good morning from North Carolina, and Lee, welcome from Indiana. We are just having a good time here this morning so far. So let's keep the good times going, okay? Yeah, I do like this very much, and I do see where this can be very beneficial, especially this one with template. I just love that. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't practiced this in a while, is going to be how we can use Paisley on a border. Okay, so what I've got here is a 2.5 inch border. So I'm going to need my 2.5 inch and I'm going to need my 3 inch. Let me make sure that these are the right sizes, 2.5 and 3 inch. Good. What I'd like to do is I would like to go ahead and you'll see that I put some markings in here. And what that marking is it's where I want to be on my 45-degree line. And I'm going to go ahead and extend this out. I think I've got my pencil here. Where did it go? Look, guys. It's just like me to not be able to find something, right? Okay, there we go. I'm just going to extend that out. So what I've done here is I am going to put this line that I put in here, and I'm going to line up my 45-degree line with that. Now, the big question is going to be, I know it's going to be, where did you draw that 45-degree line in? Okay, let me take a look at that. So what I've done is I have come in, let me do it this way so that I can easier read. Okay, so I've got 1/2 right here. So I've got 3/4 of an inch from the widest point here. And I went ahead and did it straight across on the diagonal. Okay. I'm going to line up, and if you want, it may make it easier for you. And I'm going to use the ruler here because it's easier to keep straight. If you want to draw straight lines that are perpendicular, remember to keep a line of your ruler on the already drawn line, and you'll be good to go. Okay. All right. So this is my 3 inch. So I'm going to go ahead. I am going to line up so that this etched line bis comes is dissected by this particular, line here. Hi, Monica, welcome. Good to see you. It's okay that you're late. You know what? On Wednesday mornings, it's amazing that I make it here on time too. I know. This morning it was like, okay, the dogs let me sleep till 5 o'clock. Sadly, till 5 o'clock is sleeping in for me. Oh, goodness. Okay, here we go. Realign. And we're gonna come get my foot on the foot pedal here. I like to do the corner one first to actually get started. Don't know why, but I do. Oh, guys, I came off of the template again here. I'm gonna stop and go back. There we go. Now that's the only 3-inch one we need, okay? And that one's going into the corner. Truthfully, I think it would be better to go in the corner this way, and I'm gonna go ahead and stitch over that. And it's going to bring that widest part right into the corner. And there we go. That is much better. So just to review, what we want is the widest portion to come just into the corner here. Now I'm going to take my 2.5 inch. And what I'm going to do with my 2.5 inch is I'm going to, where I drew my line in here, and that is at let me see the degrees that is, because it should be a degree angle. Okay, there it is. I knew I had a ruler with that on it. Okay. It looks like 45 degrees. Yeah, it's definitely 45 degree through the bottom. Now, through where we would put our template if we had a tail. Even though we're not putting a tail on here, it would be in that same spot. And this is probably somewhat confusing. I know you guys got this though, okay? Here we go. Get rid of that thread, put this down. Now what I'm doing is you'll see how large it is. I'm going to come in here and there we go. Using my spacing gauge, I'm going to come right here. There we go. Okay, guys, I did it again. I looked up. I should never do that. I'm going to go over this again because I get so upset with myself when I do that. So now we're going to go all the way up like we're supposed to and back out. There we go. Stop here. I'm going to move myself over Come around here. There we go. Going to use my spacing gauge. Good. And we're going to come around. And we're going to go ahead and move over. We go. Well, I need to go over just a little bit more. Well, I had it right the first time and then I messed it up. There we go. There we go. Up a little bit and come out a little bit. And there we go. And just keep on going around. Okay. Not a good rendition of it, but you get the idea of how that is going to work. And it does work beautiful. Okay. All right. Let's get on to some of the spinning designs. I tend to like those better. Truthfully, I do like those better. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab there it is, my ruler. We're going to take a look at this one. I'm only going to do 8 reference lines. And of course, my crosshair in the center. I do like to use the crosshair in the center all the time simply because it makes my life easier. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's any question. Um, Lee, you have a wonderful day too. Tana, thank you. Definitely, it definitely does help that I make mistakes. Nancy, good morning to you. Yay, Di. I'm so glad you can hear me. That's I think a good thing. Okay. So what I want to do here is I want to take my largest one, which is my 3 inch. Get a little bit of a drink there. And we're going to do this all in one direction to start with. Okay. Doesn't matter which direction we're going to go, we're going to start with one direction. Whoa, I'm so sorry, guys. I hate it when I do that. Oh, I try so hard not to do. Okay, let's go ahead and focus again. There we go. We all have Ken to thank for this absolutely fabulous camera here. Uh, okay, the line that I'm lining up is going to be the horizontal line near the bottom of the template. Again, no tails yet. Okay, we're going to do some tails here shortly. But right now I'm doing things without tails. Well, goodness gracious, what's going on here? I got something caught up in here. Oh, I certainly do. Look at that. Oh, that's never good. Let's go ahead and pull all that thread out of there. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and get this thread out of here. There we go. That was easy. Thank goodness. I didn't expect it to be honest with you. Okay, round and round we go. All righty. Again, we're going to pull that thread up in the center. This is probably one of the simplest designs that we can make with these tablets. But you know what? I think they're clean. I think it's great design for a modern quilt. I really do. Okay, let's try this again. Now, what we're going to do is I am lining up this horizontal crosshair on my horizontal crosshair, ignoring all of these extra little lines that I drew in, nice and steady. It's not a race. Because this is a curve, I do like to keep those stitches just a little bit shorter. I'm going to go ahead and clip those threads off. Somebody asked me last night what size practice squares I make, and I make them 15 inches square. And the reason that I do that is most fabric is 45 inches wide. It gives me 3 practice squares across the width of fabric, which I find to be very, oh, very, it's doable. It's doable. There's times I do need to make bigger ones, but overall, the 15-inch square seems to work out best. And you could see I'm putting lots of different stuff on here this morning. Okay, there we go. Here's our next one. Again, I really love the clean design of using the Paisley as a spinifex. Now, the other thing that's really kind of cool about this is you can use this as a triangle, and I'll show you how in a minute. And it works quite well that way too. First thing I'm going to do is get this half done, then I'm going to show you how you can use it as a triangle. Perfect. One more. I'm going to do one more here. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to go all the way around. Now you could do this with the tail as well. And let me show you what's going to happen if we incorporate the tail in here. So we're going to do it half this way and half with the tail. And then we're going to come and do the okay. So to do the tail, what I have done is I have come in and I have, guys, this isn't going to show very well, so I'm going to just move it over one, okay? Um, what I've done is I've gone ahead and put a horizontal line where I want to end my tail. And then I'm putting a vertical line here where I want to bring out my paisley. So let's go here. And it just gives kind of a little different movement to it. Just kind of a fun movement. And we are going to be backtracking back into the center. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to the next line. Again, I'm going to be putting these two crosshairs. Up there we go. Now I don't get it. That this is a new needle and it's sticking. I don't know if any of you have tried the Teflon needles, but it does help to keep from that sticking, as do the Schmitz chrome needles. I find those are two great ways of keeping your needles from getting stuck. Sadly, right now I don't have either chrome or a Teflon in here. Okay, and here's where we are putting our tail. You see how beautiful that closes up? And we've got room for one more. There we go. Now what this is going to do also is it's going to make this design just a little bit bigger. So while it's a 3-inch, we're actually going to come out a little further than that. And as soon as we get this one stitched out, I'll show you how much further that's going to come out. Again, it gives you more movement in my humble opinion. Okay, there we go. So let's take a look. Here's where we've got the regular, and here's where we've added the tail to it. Oh, Nancy, I am using a 9014 needle today. Okay. Now, what's I gonna get? Oh, okay. I know what I want. I want to get my ruler out here. So when I look at it this way, I'm going to come out. Yeah, there we go. So when I look at it this way, oh, I've got a 3-inch template, but it's almost almost 4 inches. It looks like it's 3 3/4 actually, 3 3/4. So that means from side to side with this would be 7.5 inches, whereas this would be 6 inches. So you're gaining an inch and a half by using the tail along with it. And I do like the look of the tail. Again, I think that's a great look for a modern quilt. I really do. Okay. Let's check comments, okay? Yeah. Donna didn't know that Donna didn't know Teflon needles were a thing. Actually, yes, they are. Okay, I'm gonna copy this. I want to paste today's templates here. Don't forget to use your deal date 20. Okay. Alrighty. Let's take a look. Okay, good. We're all caught up on conversation. Okay, so tell me, do you like this better or do you like the tails better? It's entirely a personal decision. I think I like this half the time and this the other half the time. I think it depends definitely on the um the project you're working on, especially if you're working on modern quilts. You Nancy likes it without the tails. Yep. It's really a personal decision and we're lucky that we have those decisions. Donna said each has its place for use, and that's so true. That is so very true. Okay, next I'm going to do 16 reference lines. Okay, and I think what we're going to do on this one is we are not going to use the tail. I'm going to go a little smaller. This horizontal line is where we want to be lined up if we're not using the tail. Okay. Oops. Let me get this down and pull the thread up. Oh, down. Easy to line up. Okay. Now, if you want to line up this way, you can, which puts the largest part of the paisley in the line with your reference lines. If you want to use the tail, you can use this line that we put in at the largest point and then do a different vertical line. I'm just going to do it the regular way today. And this is going to be our reference line number 1. There we go. And this should be our 2.5 inch. And comes back down and meets us in the center. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to rotate 1 line. This is rotation or reference line number 2. Take your time. Definitely not a sprint, it's a marathon. Yeah. There we go. Gonna go ahead and trim this out. That's reference line number 2. 1, number 2. It's deceiving because this is reference line number 1, this is reference line, or I'm sorry, this is reference line number 1 right here, and you see how far in it comes. So really, this number 1 is being stitched over reference line number 16. Then we go to reference line number 2, which is actually being stitched out over reference line number 1. And that's why when I work on this, I want to be in a quiet room with no phones and nobody emailing me if possible. Well, I don't have to keep my email on, but you know what I'm saying. No TV, no phones, no children, no grandchildren. And that is going to give you the best recipe for success because it is easily confused because of the way that this template is lined. Okay, there's my third rotation. And this is going to be my fourth. This is the one that I'm most concerned with. I'm now watching what's happening up here because as long as this horizontal line is correct, we're going to be just fine up here. There we go. This is not a design that you would want to put on a block that has a lot of seams coming together in the center. The designs that we did last night are better suited for those types of blocks because you're stitching around the center, not through the center. And there are so many templates that give us that opportunity. Oh, and lining up here, not worrying about up here. This top is going to take care of itself. Let's see how many rotations we have right now. Okay, so I'm gonna come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want to put 2 more rotations in here. Okay, is going to be right there. This will be 7. And we're going to stitch one more in here. This will be number 8. You got one? Looks like one of those pinwheels that we play with to get to get moving with the wind. Okay, there it is. That is 8 of 16. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to come up here with the other 8. I'm going to make it a little smaller. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, but I am going to flip the template back and forth. I'm going to leave this one open. Okay, so I'm going to go in this direction first. Using my horizontal line on my line here. Hi, Patsy. See you next week, Di. Thank you for stopping by. Jeannie's here from Mount Vernon, Washington. Welcome. Okay, here we go. Pull that thread up from the bottom. Right there in the center. Okay, so my first one is going to go in this direction. Now this is going to impinge on the last one. I'm not going to worry about that because this is a whole different design that I'm putting in, okay? Alrighty. Now I'm going to take that out and I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to keep it on the same line. Let me just show you what I mean. I'm going to get rid of this thread here first. Okay. So what you're going to see is here is the horizontal line that I used to line this up. Now, when I take this and flip it, again, I'm going to use that same horizontal line to line it up. And this is the one that looks similar to a heart. Okay. Now, you'll see that we have 3 lines involved in this template, and this is a 16 rotation. So what I want to do is I want to come back to this side, which was the first side, and I want to go ahead and turn this, turn this until I get very little if any, um, stitching over here. But I don't want to leave a big, this is really rather a big open space. So I'm going to come here and there we go. I am going to come over here, but it's not going to be so much that it's going to be overly intrusive. Where did my spacing gauge go? Oh, goodness. There it is. Okay. So you'll see that it's going to come across here very minimally, actually even less than over here. I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly all right with that. And I want to make sure that I have my horizontal line lined up here. So now we're going to go with our paisley off to the left. And again, I'm going to take this out and flip it over. And again, I'm going to make sure that I have myself lined up on the same reference line. And you'll know it's right when you see that you've got 3 lines working together. If you want to, double check that. This is the best way of doing it. Okay, so I've got this line. So I'm going to hold my finger here. I'm going to turn this around and there we go. I'm sure that I am lined up properly. So here we're going to just put the next paisley in. And this is one complete design. Okay. So you see it takes 2 rotations to make the one design. And we're going to do this one more time. I want it in this direction first. Now this is too close. There we go. This is where we want to be. I'm not going to make the full design because that would encroach on here and get to be confusing. And there we go. Isn't that cool? I'm really, really liking that design a lot. I think it leads us to several other things that we can do. Whoops, sorry guys. One of the things is a triangle. Because we all have those triangles, don't we? Donna, have a great day, okay? All right, so here we go. I'm just going to come in here, set up 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. So I'll go 1, 2.5. And I'm going to make a mark there. And we're going to come up in 45. Well, let me do this first. There we go. And we're going to come up at a 45-degree angle. We are, and we're going to come back down at a 45-degree angle. Okay, setting triangle, right? We all have them. We all end up with them occasionally. So let me take this guy, and he's going to be a little too big. This guy's going to be just about right. Okay. So where did there it is. Always come back to needing this the 8 or 16 point reference line and do this. And I'm going to do this. You know what? I'm going to put these other ones in just in case. One here. We go. Okay. Don't be afraid to pull these lines out. You know, we can always erase them. It's so much better to have too many lines than not enough. Because if we don't have enough, we're just guessing. And guessing is not good with ruler work. Okay, there we go. Pull that one out. Pull this one out. And this one. There we go. Let's pull the top out too, just in case. I don't think we're going to need it, but we will anyway. Okay, so here we've got a triangle. Pretend it's a setting triangle, right? So maybe what we want to do is we want to come in and set it this way. And then we're going to come over and come down and set it this way. Now, if you're not sure, this is just my tried and true, along with paper. I too use a lot of paper. I'm fine with that. Paper is cheap, okay? But this is how we're going to use our stitching line discs. I'm going to come up to the top here, and I think maybe I can use a bigger one. This is the 1.5. I'm going to try the 2 on here, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist it so that the highest part is up on the top. And then I am going to make sure that I get my center centered. And we're going to come down and around. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to twist my highest point around the top. There we go. And again, coming around. And I'm going to twist it again. Highest point at the top. There we go. And one more time. Highest point at the top. And there we go. That's just perfect. So you see what I've done there? We've gone ahead. Hi, Joey. So good to see you. I understand. I understand. So let's go ahead and stitch that out because this is the best way to know that we've got things correct. All right. There we go. We're going to start at the bottom. I'm going to start with it going this way. Although what I'm going to do is I'm going to have everything going in one one direction. So, okay, there we go. And there we go. I'm gonna turn you around this way because I want you to see best vantage point you've got. I'm remembering to put the highest point at the top. I'm gonna grab my spacing gauge. There it is. You're gonna want to make sure that you're coming close, but not over the top. And now we're just gonna stitch it out. And we're going to twist. Keep this spacing gauge handy because that is the one thing that's going to keep you what I call honest. It's going to make sure that you're not going to come out of that triangle. There we go. Sway around. Back to center. Needle down. Twist. Spacing gauge. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, I came out just a little too far on there. That's okay. This is why it's called practice, okay? And now we're going to twist it again. There we go. There we go. Perfect. And to do the other side, we would do just the opposite, the same, just in the opposite direction. So there's so many times that we have setting triangles and we need to come up with an idea for them. I think this Paisley offers us an absolutely beautiful, viable option to our quilting on those setting triangles. We've covered a lot this morning. We really have. We've covered our Paisley with the tail, without the tail, using it in a border. You can use it as a half circle. This comes out really nice. Again, use the tails or not. You can just place them anywhere on your um, quilt and you can have them go willy-nilly in all directions and they're going to look beautiful that way too. Remember, you're going to want to bury those threads. There's going to be a lot of them, but it's a good TV watching activity, I think. So anyway, yeah, I do like our little hearts here. Um, boy, we've really covered a lot. We really have. Oh, thank you, Deb. Deb is here from the Finger Lakes region. Monica, you are so welcome. I love giving you guys ideas. Um, Sometimes they're flops, but it's okay. that you see that we flop to. Linda, thank you so much. We will be seeing you next week. I won't be here on Monday next week. It is Donnell's odd date Monday. And so I will be here Tuesday, Wednesday. We're really going to continue with the spinning wheels, having a ball with those. I absolutely love, love, love them. And I'm not sure what we're going to be doing Wednesday morning yet, but it's going to be good. Thank you, Nancy. I hope to inspire, even with the trials and tribulations. Oh my goodness. So anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit that little bell so you're notified when we're on every time. And until we see you next Tuesday, let's quilt.